You pick up your keys, and your dog already knows. The ears drop, the body goes still by the door, and as it watches you leave, you have probably wondered what is actually happening behind those eyes. Most people assume the answer is simple. Your dog has learned that you are the source of food and walks and the door opening again. A warm, furry machine running on conditioning. That is the safe, unsentimental answer. It is also, as far as we can now tell, wrong. Because in the last 15 years, neuroscientists have done something nobody had managed before. They put dogs, awake and unrestrained, inside a brain scanner and asked the animal directly. And what lit up was not the brain of a creature waiting for its next meal. Start with the problem. You cannot ask a dog how it feels, and you cannot trust how it looks, because a wagging tail is easy to misread. For decades, that was the wall. Then a neuroscientist named Gregory Berns at Emory University had an idea most people thought was impossible. A brain scanner only works if the subject holds completely still, fully awake, with no sedation and no restraint. You cannot order a dog to do that. So he trained them. Using nothing but patience and reward, he taught dogs to walk into the machine, rest their chin on a block, and lie motionless through the noise while their brains were imaged. In 2012, he published the first awake dog fMRI in the journal PLOS One. It was only 2 dogs, a proof that it could be done at all, but it cracked the wall open. For the first time, you could watch a reward fire inside a living, conscious dog. The region he watched is called the caudate nucleus. In humans, it is part of the reward circuit, the patch that lights up in anticipation of things you love, a favorite song, a person walking through the door. It is one of the oldest, most honest parts of a mammal brain because it is very hard to fake. It does not light up for what you tolerate. It lights up for what you want. This is why it matters so much. A dog can be trained to sit for anyone holding a treat, to wag at a stranger, to perform the whole social act of being a good dog without feeling much of anything. Behavior can be faked. The caudate cannot. It is a window past the performance into what the animal actually values. So the question became simple and sharp. What makes a dog's caudate fire? The first real answer came from smell. In a 2015 study, Berns and his team ran dogs through the scanner while presenting them with different scents on a swab. The smell of an unfamiliar dog, the smell of a dog they lived with, the smell of a stranger, and the smell of their own human, collected before the scan. 5 scents, one of which was you. The caudate did not respond equally. It fired hardest by a clear margin to the scent of the familiar human. Not the other dog in the house, not food, you. And here is the part that matters. The scent was presented with the human nowhere in the room. There was no walk coming, no dinner, no reward attached. Just your smell, in the dark, and a reward center that lit up anyway, as if at the memory of you. Then they tested it against the thing everyone assumes wins, food. In 2016, a team including Berns and the researcher Peter Cook published a study in the journal Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience that pitted praise against treats. Inside the scanner, each dog learned that one object meant a piece of hot dog was coming, and another meant its owner would lean in and say, "Good boy." Then they watched which one the caudate preferred. Out of 15 dogs, 13 responded to the praise as strongly as the food, and several responded to praise more. Then they checked it in the real world, with a simple maze that let each dog choose between walking to its owner or walking to a bowl of food. The dogs that loved praise in the scanner chose their owner in the maze. The brain and the behavior agreed. For most of these dogs, your voice was not a lesser reward than dinner. It was the equal of it, or better. And it goes further than wanting you. Your dog is also listening more closely than you think. In 2016, a team led by Attila Andix at University University in Budapest scanned dogs while playing recordings of human speech. They found that the dog brain splits the job, processing the meaning of a word in one region and the tone of voice in another, much the way yours does. And the reward center only fully lit up when the two lined up. A praise word spoken in a praising tone. Say "good boy" in a flat, bored voice, and it half landed. Say "nonsense" in a warm voice, and it half landed. Say "good boy" like you meant it, and the reward circuit switched on. Your dog is not just hearing noise and watching for cues. It is checking whether you mean it. But here is the part that should land hardest, because it is not about what is happening inside the dog. It is about what is happening between the two of you. In 2015, a Japanese team led by Takafumi Kikusui published a study in the journal Science on a single quiet act. A dog and its owner looking into each other's eyes. When they held that mutual gaze, both of them, the dog and the person, showed a rise in oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and trust. Not one of them, both. A loop, each raising the others. And until that point, that exact gaze-driven oxytocin loop had been documented in essentially one other place in nature, between a human mother and her infant. The same circuit that ties a parent to a newborn was quietly running between a person and an animal of a completely different species, just from a look across the room. Wolves raised by humans, given the same test, do not do this. Whatever this loop is, your dog brought it to you, and you answered without knowing you were doing it. So put it together. The smell of you outranks every other scent in the reward center. Your praise can beat food. Your dog tracks not just your words, but whether you mean them. And meeting your eyes runs the same hormone loop as a mother and her child. Decades earlier, researchers using a test built for human babies had already found the behavior to match. A dog treats its owner the way an infant treats a parent, as a secure base, a safe center it explores from and returns to. None of this proves your dog feels love in the way you feel it. We cannot scan for that. No machine reaches the felt thing, but it does dismantle the easy story. The bond is not bought with treats. It is written into the reward center, the hormones, in the deep attachment system your dog shares with our own infants. So go back to the door, the keys, the dropped ears, the still body watching you go. Whatever that animal is feeling as it waits, it is not the patience of a machine waiting to be refilled. It is closer to something we usually reserve a much larger word for. You may never know exactly what your dog feels when you leave, but you can stop assuming it is nothing. The brain was lighting up for you long before the food bowl ever entered the room.